Welcome back. You're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, reaching you live from Lagos. Do remember that all our top stories can be found on our website as channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device, and you can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. And we urge you to please interact with the channel's Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS and Windows 8 platforms. And if you've got pictures or videos to share with us, just tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions there. Although the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has been explaining the reason behind the massive deployment of its senior officials for today's exercise. The Chief Press Secretary to INEC's chairman, Mr. Pt.2, who spoke earlier to Channels Television, says that the Commission is committed to making sure that the process goes without any hitch. Mr. Pt.2 also explains the use of the smart card readers in the 11 states where the exercise held. Well, we're now being joined by Mr. Pt.2 live on Channels Television's News at 10. I want to thank you so much indeed for joining us at this time. Tell us, what is your general impression of this supplementary elections you've conducted today?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kinda. The elections, generally speaking, have gone on very well in all states where we had them. We have called these human operations, they are not perfect. There were incidents in some areas, but generally speaking, they've gone on very well. Like the report has reflected, there are places where we had people snapping ballot boxes at all. In Abia, for instance, we had a delay in commencement because of some issues with the drivers. But this was quickly resolved, and the election began. So, generally speaking, the elections are going very well.
Interesting. Now, you are also making reference to the card reader machines that you deployed for this exercise today. How would you rate their performance? Did you get records of any complaints so far?
I have read reports about the cases where they said incidents before their use. And because of that was used as a cycle of the candidates not having worked well. That is not true. The candidates worked. Everywhere where we conducted the elections, candidates were used. There was nowhere that they reflected to manual accreditation because it is actually outside the guidelines to do so. The incident came to our use. We are simply in the places where people have their cards verified by the card reader. But their fingerprints were not sensitive enough to be read by the card reader. That's just the failure of the card reader. It is part of the process.
If I'll just come in there, my apologies, please. When are we expecting the results to be announced?
Yeah, this supplementary is well underway, and I am very hoping that before morning, by early tomorrow morning, we will see most of these results being reported.
I want to thank you so much indeed, Mr. Pt.2, the spokesperson of the INEC's chairman. 2 Nigerian soldiers have been killed accidentally in an explosion at the Maxwell Kobe Cantonment 3 Armored Division, Rukuba Barracks in Jos, Plateau State, as they transported ammunition meant to be destroyed. The acting director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Osman, says that some of the unserviceable ammunitions exploded in the process of moving them to the demolition site in the bush. A panic spread through Jos and Bukuru metropolis in Plateau State. Following the blast, the military barracks, or The neighboring communities were not affected in this, though. Plateau State has indeed witnessed a series of deadly bomb attacks in recent months. A blast at a bus station in Jos in February killed 13 people and injured 14 others. Our security of lives and the quest for more female representation have topped the list of expectations for the governor-elect in Yobe State. Well, that's according to Governor Ibrahim Gaidam. Meanwhile, the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Adamu Waziri, says that he is challenging the victory of Governor Gaidam in the April 11 governorship elections. Well, according to him, he will want the court to determine the eligibility or otherwise of the governor-elect to contest in the April 11 elections.
Yobe State, northeast Nigeria, has had its fair share of troubles from recent Boko Haram insurgency in the region. In spite of the troubles, residents came out in their sizable numbers to vote during the April 11 governorship elections. With the polls over, residents state their topmost expectations and what they will want the governor-elect to focus on.
I want the government to improve and to know the issue of this Boko Haram. When we're running here and there, it's affecting our business, it's affecting everything, even our home. So we want, the governor has tried, so but we want him to improve on this security matter.
We want women representation in the administration of the government. With that, with the lot of women in the government, we have women that will empower others. Because they said if you help one, maybe that one person can help two. So you see, with women, you know how they are. They say if you educate a woman, you educate a nation.
Many people moved out as a result of insurgency. So I would like government of Yobe State to do something that will enable people that ran away to come back to their place.
Meanwhile, the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Adamu Waziri, heads to court to challenge the victory of the governor-elect.
We have to file in the Federal High Court in Abuja challenging the eligibility of Governor Ibrahim Gaidam to contest the election based on subsisting Supreme Court judgments that defines tenure of the president and governors to be a maximum of 2 terms of 4 years each, not a day longer. The Supreme Court determined the tenure in the case of Governor Murtala Irako and Governor Idris Ibrahim of Kogi State. The Supreme Court also in 2003 had declared that under the 1999 Constitution, neither the President nor the Governor can be sworn in more than twice. So, on the basis of that, a suit was filed challenging the eligibility of the Governor.
Whoever eventually emerges winner at the end of the day will be sworn in on May 29 as the state governor, who will be expected to fulfill the hopes and aspirations of the people of Yobe State.
Well, now, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Aminu Bashir Wali, has summoned Nigeria's senior diplomats on tour of duty in South Africa for consultation. They are the Acting High Commissioner in Pretoria, Ambassador Martin Cobham, and the Deputy High Commissioner in Johannesburg, Ambassador Uche Ajulu Okeke. The invitation is in connection with the ongoing xenophobia in South Africa, targeting foreigners, mainly African migrants. The current spate of attacks began about 3 weeks ago, though, and have so far claimed some 7 lives, destruction of property, and created fear and uncertainty in the minds of African migrants in the former apartheid enclave. The South African President, Mr. Jacob Zuma, has condemned the attacks in a statement presented to the South African National Assembly, saying for the Zulu monarch, Godwill, and of course Mr. Godwill Zwelithini, whose alleged inciting comments provoked the attacks. And staying with the attacks in South Africa, the country's High Commissioner to Nigeria, Mr. Lulu Nguni, has been speaking on the economic effects and class difference in the crisis. Mr. Nguni, who was on our weekend breakfast program, Sunrise Saturday, says that the government of South Africa is working hard to tilt the balance.
One of our leaders indicated that South Africa is a country of two nations. One white minority and one black, the majority. The minority is excessively rich, whereas the majority is experiencing a situation of crime and poverty. To build a nation, it's not only about politics, etc., but it's also about economics, making sure that now the economy is shared between the blacks and the whites, so that if I have my child attending the same private school as or any school with whites, my child must not come back to me and say, but are we all South Africans? I say yes, but then she says no, but I can't see those similarities. We want nation building must be based not only on each sharing of economic power, but both economic and political power. So we have that problem. A lot of mechanisms have been put in place to try and address this. So we came up with affirmative action and all those things. And of course, all other mechanisms of trying to make sure that now we empower black business to can, of course, try and make sure that we increase the economic base of blacks, but it is taking some bit of time, and of course we also did things such as the BEs, etc. So we have those challenges, but our government is working hard to try and make sure that now we tilt the balance in favor of blacks, but of course it's not an easy task.
South Africa's High Commissioner to Nigeria, Mr. Lulu Nguni. Now, the Nigerian Union in South Africa says that the Nigerians lost more than 4.6 million rand, that's about 84 million naira, to xenophobic attacks. The president of the union, Mr. Pt.2 says that the losses were initially put at 1.2 million rand, that's about 21 million naira. He adds that the Nigerian Union in South Africa has completed documentation of the losses suffered by Nigerians to xenophobic attacks, and that the union had compiled the losses and given the list to Nigeria's Consul General to South Africa. According to Mr. Ayene, Nigerian victims of the attack need urgent assistance to resettle them because many have lost their means of livelihood. You're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, reaching you live from Lagos. Still ahead, toxicology confirms that local gene caused the death of 23 people in Oderele in Ondo State. Join us again.